everybody. Deborah here from Shibori, and I am resuming our series on the making of a Shibori scarf. So at the last episode, we had just finished dyeing the scarf and taking out the resists from the Nui technique that we had been using. And when you saw it, it was dyed blue, but I was having an over dye sort of day. I was really getting excited by that. So now it looks a little different. You can see that I added some over dye layers of red and orange and yellow. And what I was going for was kind of sunset colors, which I think I achieved nicely. When you take the composite of all of them, you even get some purples, orchids, pinks, etc. So it's kind of nice. I'm thinking I shall name it something like Sunset with Diamonds, maybe. So now we are going to set the colors and make it color fast. The first thing we're going to do is go over to the heat press. Now when we first dyed it, we ironed it, and that's the very first step, but it's really important to do the heat press if you want it to be color fast, because that is like 70 to 80% of the feat of achieving that color fastness, although we're going to do a couple more steps after that. So let's walk over to the heat press. And the way this works is we're going to press one section at a time. Now, this heat transfer press, that's what it's officially called, a heat transfer press. They sell these primarily for doing heat transfer pressing on t-shirts, but they work fabulous for these silk scarves as well. And every different type of thing that you might want to set the colors with has different requirements in terms of how long you do it and what temperature you need. But for these silk scarves, I do each press at 90 seconds, 360 degrees. I am just going to press this down gently and hold it. And then when that's done, it's going to beep at me, and then I'm going to pull it up to the next section that needs pressing, and I'm going to hold it down for another 90 seconds and so on. So it's going to be about 5 presses probably for this one, so it'll take me about 10 minutes. I'm not going to make you sit through that, so I'll come back in just a moment. We have finished our heat pressing process, and now we are ready to do the next stage. So we are going to do the hot water wash with that professional detergent. And the reason why we do that is because if there are any remaining molecules of dye that are still not bonded with the fabric after that heat press, then the detergent in the hot water will strip those molecules off, and so any remaining stuff that hasn't bonded, we should get it out with that. And then we're going to do one more step after that, just to be sure. So what I typically do when I soak these in the detergent, especially where you might have some dye come off, is I'll just grab whichever scarves are of the same sort of color family in case there is any leakage of color in this step. And so I've got 3 scarves here that are kind of the same color. So I'm going to put those in the basket, and we're going to grab our detergent, and I'll meet you at the sink. Okay, so here we are at the sink. So I have pulled the plug, and so with this detergent, they say that for like a whole load. You only need 1/4 cup. So with just a few scarves like this, which is usually, I'm going in small batches since, you know, I might do 12 or 15 scarves all in one batch, but then only a few of them will be of a similar color. So I'm probably only going to have anywhere from 3 to 5 in a batch. So with that volume, I'm only going to use about a capful of this detergent with the hot water. So I'm going to run some hot water and I'm going to put the detergent in, and then we will stick the scarves in there and let them soak. Get those suds going. Then I'm going to shake these out. So we make sure that the dye, that the surface of the scarf gets exposed to the suds really nicely. That way we'll make sure that we get rid of any extra dye particles. And I'm just swishing these around in here. All right. So now I'm just going to walk away from this and let that soak for about 20 minutes or so. I'll see you back in a minute.